the Dolce Spot. Today is October the 16th of 2018, and I want to welcome you to our video. This is Chelsea Janelle. She's my daughter, and she's going to help me today in our talk of the generations. We're going to do a little current events on the midterm vote that's coming up here, and we hope that you enjoy. So, my parents were born during what's called the silent or GI generation. This was a group of people who actually all they really knew was the war, World War I, World War II, and many of them, most of them lived through the Great Depression. So it was a time of poverty and hard work and just people uniting and helping each other so that they can grow and be a better people. And then through all of that, we get the
baby boomers, which is my mom. So my mom was born in the baby boomer generation, which was a time after World War II where there was, a huge increase in births. So this time period is between 1946 to 1964.
I'm on the lower end.
She's in the lower end. So, during this time period, there were a lot of young couples that moved to the suburbs rather than wanting to live in the city. And, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me, baby boomers are extremely hard workers, excellent work ethic, they're dedicated, they have huge goals, they're focused, they're disciplined, and they have wonderful qualities that I admire. Baby boomers do comprise of 20% of the world's population, so that's pretty awesome. So that's a huge number to say the least. So.
And then we had Generation X, which comes right after baby boomers, and then the Millennials, which is my daughter. And those were people who were born between 1981 and 1996. So they would be around 22, 37 years, like about 37?
28.
Yeah.
28.
Anyway, I'm sure you've heard, or you probably even have a millennial, that this group of young people, they're entitled and they're lazy. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Maybe there are some. I mean, there were baby boomers that are still like that. So, it could be true for some, but that's not really what I've witnessed. I've saw Chelsea go out. She's a hard worker, very conscientious, going to work sometimes when she's ill, which I advise against, but she does. And I look at the millennials as they're going to be the generation that's going to get all the stuff, that all the debt, everything that probably isn't great, because we as baby boomers, we were able to, some of us went out in our 20s and we owned our own homes, and we really prospered. And sometimes, I'm not saying all millennials are like that, but a lot of them are struggling. So Chelsea, I have some questions for you, and she's agreed. We're going to talk a little bit about politics and the midterm and some of her concerns as a millennial. Okay?
Awesome.
You ready?
I am.
Okay. The first question is, when you got, not too long ago, you got one of your better paying jobs, and something that it could be a little stable. What was the biggest shock to you when you got that first paycheck?
Definitely the taxes. I knew that we have to pay taxes, but I didn't think it was going to be that as much as they are. I experienced this literally not that long ago, and it's almost like you get excited, but it's a disappointment because you know that you're going to have all these taxes taken out. And I just really feel like we, especially as single young people, I feel have it not the worst, but we do have it really hard. And I feel like, I'm not just the only person that's going through that. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that are experiencing, I know there are plenty of people that are out there that are experiencing that. And that's difficult, because a lot of people, I mean, I'm 28, even though she tried to tell me I was 37. I'm 28, and there's a lot of people that are my age that that I know that are going through the same thing. We're getting to an age where we're getting to our prime, and we should be preparing for the future, and buying homes and whatever life goals that we have. We should be putting that plan in motion, and I feel that we're given sort of a hindrance because of this issue, and it's difficult.
Do you think others pay more taxes?
Well, I do feel like it's difficult to watch, wealthier people, for example. The wealthy tend to get the biggest tax break out of everybody, and that's not right, and that's not how it should be. I feel that it's a bit backwards, and that's definitely a concern of mine, just as it is a concern for anybody else that I know.
Okay, so also college debt, college tuition. I mean, when I first started school, tuition was $79 per credit hour. And I don't mind dating myself, but I'm just saying it was very low considering how it is now. So how do you feel about that? And what do you think, can be done about it?
For me, I just feel like college is getting a degree is ingrained in us. You want to get the good job, you got to have the degree. And I feel that we spend all this time racking up thousands of dollars, and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on, if you want to pursue a higher degree, i.e. doctorates, i.e. if you want to go to law school, the higher you want to, the greater you want to pursue, the greater amount of money you're going to have to pay. And so we spend all this time, getting ourselves head over heels in debt with student loans. And then when it comes time for us to graduate, we're not getting the jobs. We're not getting any of the jobs that people are qualified for. And yet we have to settle, and it's no disrespect, but we have to settle for $25,000 and $30,000 jobs when we know that we are qualified for more. And that signifies a problem. I mean, I feel like I'm not really huge on politics.
I can feel your passion.
I'm not huge on politics, but I do know that that is a problem. And it would just be nice to see, again, this is my opinion, it would just be nice to see maybe, the government giving us a little bit of a break. I'm not saying, if you can't pay for all the tuition, I understand that, but it would be nice to maybe get a certain portion paid for or covered, or some type of aid there, or some type of, just something that will help,
In summation, you want to do your part. You want to, you know that your taxes go for paying for infrastructure and schools and hospitals and things like that. You know that, but you just want a fair shake. I mean, you can't get wealthy if you don't have money, right?
It would be really nice to get a break, and it just seems like, wealthier, like I said, the wealthier people, they get a little bit more of a break than people that are, kind of at that medium, or people that are barely, trying to get on their feet. I feel like we have it hard. We have it really hard.
I feel your pain. Okay, the next question, and I know it's all over the news, and we hear it all the time, and me and you, we talk about this, not a lot, but we talk about it. Climate change and global warming, is it real or is it a myth?
I definitely feel that it's real. Okay. And
me too.
If you want facts, the facts are there. All you have to do is turn on the TV. All you have to do is open a newspaper. All you have to do is go online, go to AOL.com, MSN.com, look at the news. It's there. And what I mean is that we've got all these hurricanes.
The science.
Yeah, we have all these hurricanes that are all this activity going on in the waters. And it gets worse each year. And, I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Not only just activity with tropical storms, but, we have an issue. One thing that really just fascinates me or interests me is the coral reef ecosystems that we have. Great Barrier Reef is known to be one of the most, in my opinion, majestic attractions worldwide. People travel there, to see the beauty of it, but it's losing its beauty. It's losing the life and vitality of it, because we've got, with Earth's atmosphere warming, and we've got oceans that are continuing to warm. Not only is it causing disruption in the seas and all this tropical storm activity, but but it's causing, coral bleaching, even like you just said with the glaciers. Glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising. These situations signify a problem. And like I said, for people that don't believe in it, that's fine, but if you want facts and you want proof, it's there, and you don't have to
and the power to be
or look far for it
or change things. They need to awaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is causing a real problem.
Yeah.
A real problem.
It is.
Another question for you. What are your thoughts on politics today?
So, like I said, I'm not really extremely knowledgeable when it comes to politics, obviously, but I'm really glad that I have you in my life, because you not just because you're my mom, but because you always make it a not just an effort but a priority to keep yourself in the know, to constantly be abreast of what's going on, because essentially it affects all of us. Just like when I was talking about the ecosystems, the coral reef ecosystems, how we have that bleaching, it affects everybody, whether you believe it or you see it, it affects everyone. So I'm just glad that I have you to be able to, get that knowledge, because I do learn things from you. And though I may not know much, I know enough to know that there is a problem. And just, I kind of feel like there's a lot of people right now, and again, this is my opinion, but I feel like there's a lot of people right now that have been placed in these positions of power, positions of leadership, that are to be held by those standards that I feel are not being held by those standards, if I'm just going to be frank about it. And I just feel like, some people, what am I trying to say? It's about us as a people.
Right.
We the people. There's a reason why they say we the people. And I feel like the people that are put in these positions of leadership are not looking out for everybody collectively as a whole.
We're not just one party. We're a people.
Yeah,
we're a people.
and I feel like maybe these certain people in these positions are only looking out for certain type people in certain parties, and it shouldn't be that way. We, like I said before, we are one as a whole, and it would just be nice to see a change within that, because we want to feel protected, and we want to feel as we are one. And I think there's a lot of division right now.
That's true. So if you're a millennial and you've talked to people your age, are they hesitant about voting, or do you talk about it, or do they feel like they just aren't up on it, or they need to talk to maybe somebody in maybe on their job, or their mothers or fathers, or somebody who is in politics, maybe call their congressman?
Right.
Do you think that would help to help them to get the vote out if they've registered to vote?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would help. It's all like I said before, and I feel, especially with people my age, or i.e. millennials, a lot of us, we're kind of similar to me when I say that I'm not really knowledgeable on a lot of politics, and so I feel that I'm not the only person that's going through that. I feel there are a lot of people that are in my predicament, that are my age, that are in my class or my group, that are not knowledgeable on what's going on, that don't turn on the news and don't read up to keep themselves in the know. And so I feel that it discourages a lot of people. Of course I care.
You care.
Yeah.
You care.
And that may discourage a lot of people from, they say, oh, well, it's not about me. It's I don't have nothing to do with that. But essentially, it is about you. It actually has everything to do with you, because you are the future.
Absolutely.
And you can make a change. I feel like we spend all this time. A lot of people spend all this time complaining about what's going on, but yet provide no solution, provide no alternative, make no effort to do anything. And as something as simple as voting, your vote does count. And a lot of people feel that their vote doesn't count.
So what's your experience in voting?
Well, I'm just glad that, I've grown up in a family, thanks to you. I've had a lot of exposure to voting. Every opportunity that I've had to vote, I've made it a choice to vote. Mm-hmm. And
we make it a family affair.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We make it an event as a family to collectively go out together and vote. You know, we do it every time an election comes up, we do it. Right. And I'm really glad that I had that kind of, even when I, you know, didn't know nothing at all, I still was like, all right, you know, it's just important to do it. It's important to vote. And I'm really glad that I had that exposure. I'm really glad that I had family that shared those same values, because they are values. So for those that feel that their vote does not count, it does count. It does matter, but it's not going to count if you don't go out and vote.
And you feel good, even if things don't go the way you want them to, or maybe your candidate doesn't get in. You exercise your right. And you voiced your vote, and that's important. So great job. You did good.
Well, thanks, Mom.
Okay, so what do you have for me?
I do have a couple of questions for you as a baby boomer.
Okay.
So first things first, what are your thoughts about all these women who are running for, you know, these political offices for this election term?
I love it. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we have got some strong, dynamic, intellectual women out here across the board. I mean, there are attorneys, and they're in politics, and they've been in military. And you know something? Women, and we all know this because we all have mothers, we are very nurturing. We're very caring. A lot of us, we get things in order. We, you know, run our households. We're CEOs. We're whatever we are, but we want order, and we want and care for everyone. And I'm not saying that men aren't like that, but it's time for a change. It's time to put a woman in office. You know, we can do great things. We really can. So I love it. I'm ready for that. I'm ready. I wish everybody who's out there running as a woman, good luck. But most of all, when you get in office, when you get elected, do what you say you're going to do, because you know the power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So number 2, what is a big concern for you as a baby boomer, and not just for you individually, but baby boomers as a whole? Like, what is a big concern for the future of baby boomers?
A big one for me, again, like yourself, we talked about, I don't know if we even talked about healthcare.
Yeah.
Did we talk about healthcare? And I know that we had talked about healthcare. Chelsea used to be on, you know, the parents' insurance. That's when you're young, that's what happens. But she had to get on healthcare, get her own healthcare. And, you know, sometimes that could be, you know, 7, 8, 10% of what you make. Yeah. And that's a lot.
On top of your taxes that are already been taken
it's going up.
Steadily
it's going
rising.
up. If you're self-employed, it's even worse. Yeah. If you're your employer, I mean, it's hard for them, you know, to keep us at a good rate. So that's really, really important. I'm a big advocate of science and medical research through our National Institute of Health. This month, October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we need research. We need the research to find the cure. Women have an increased rate of heart disease and all kinds of diseases that normally men would get, but now it's coming on us. So we need to get the cure for that, and we need it speedily. And also, another thing, we have a shortage of healthcare workers. Doctors, I think nurses, that's getting a little bit better, but the healthcare workers that come in the nursing homes and in the home health, they are not making enough money. I mean, $11 for that kind of work is minuscule. Yeah. You cannot make it. You need a living wage. I am here for you, okay? You need more, and that is a big, big, big concern, in my opinion. And also, one thing, and me and Chelsea have talked about this, is the problem of ageism.
Yes.
My father once told me, somebody was saying to him, you're old. And he said, keep living. Okay, and that's what I say too, because never do you think when you're 28 years old, oh, I'll be 50 next year. And it actually almost happens like that. So we need to work on that. And that's just being compassionate and empathetic as far as, you never know what kind of life circumstances you may have. You may want at 60 years old, you may say, hey, I'm going out and I'm going to start a new career. a second career, or you may need to go out and get a regular job because you need to make ends meet, okay? So when you have this ageism, whether it's intentional, institutional, or across the board, it's just wrong. Right. We all need to search ourselves when we're like that, because you grow up and you become, things happen. So please stop that. I cannot stand that. I truly can't. I'm sorry. It's big for me. And not because I'm there, but I'm just saying it's big for me. I got a lot of living to do. Okay? All right.
And lastly, what are your views on, the politicians of today, and how do they differ from the politicians when you first started voting?
Okay. Well, I was like you. I think my first vote was Jimmy Carter was president and he was running against Ronald Reagan. Okay, when I voted, whoever my parents said, that was a good deal for me. And that was the way it was. When you're young, you kind of don't know. So I can't blame you. You don't know. You don't want to look at CNN and MSNBC and Fox all the time. You want to get out and live your life, and I get that. But the thing is, it's different now. I mean, we've seen scandal, we've gone through recessions, we've gone through a lot. But I tell you, this last few years has been an awakening. Okay, but it always starts with the man in the mirror. It starts with you, looking inside yourself. But the one thing, and I've thought about this when Chelsea had asked me this question before, I thought about our leaders, and it took me back to graduate school. And I went to a Christian school, so we did Bible, we had like weekly Bible assignments. And a big thing, and it's a big thing for me because this is the way I was taught, is that ethics, there's no difference in personal and in business ethics. Mm-hmm. If you lie at home, you're gonna lie in a major company, CEO, or even the country, even the leader of the country. So I'm going to take you back to the good book, the book of Luke, where much is given,
much is expected.
Much is expected. Yep. We need to live by that. If you can't lead yourself, then you can't lead others effectively. So that's huge for me. And that's what I'm going to be looking at when I'm out here voting. And I know there are some good people, but like I say, when you get in, when I vote you in, do what you say you're going to do. Let the people know. Be transparent. We don't want to find out. It's like, you go to the bank, you find out somebody stolen your money. You're going to be a little upset, okay? We don't want to know things that are going to hinder us from growing as a nation. There is a lot of division in the country, a lot. We need to go inside of ourselves and understand, we all breathe the same air. We all are of the same energy. Whether you believe that or not, we are. So I would just say to everyone, exercise your vote, but look inside yourself. See how you may be contributing to the problem. And sometimes we are. But the best thing is, like I say, is to exercise your vote. Yeah. So we're going to sum it up. But Chelsea, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Like I said before, I'm not really just fully knowledgeable on politics, but I know enough to know that there is a problem. And I live those problems every day. And I think anybody that, even if you never watched or keep up with any news at all, just living your experiences, you're able to know that there's a disconnect.
Yeah. And it's like a tug of war, and we're like everybody's against each other,
yeah.
and we don't need
division.
that. We don't need
it's nothing.
We
but
don't need
division.
a civil war. We just truly don't. And if everybody starts looking inside themselves, I think that be accountable. Like they say, if there's a problem, be accountable. Understand what that problem is, and I think we might be a better people because it is we the people, not those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we thank you very much. We've rambled on enough, and I hope that you enjoyed our generational talk. And if you please share. Share the video with others.
Spread. That's the whole point of it.
Spread
the word.
Subscribe to our channel. I'm sure we're going to be coming back on again because we're the mother and daughter tag team, Millennial versus Baby Boomer. And we want to we want to send good vibes out to you. But most of all, we are in these midterms. There is early voting out here in our state, the great state of Texas. We have early voting on October the 22nd. If you live in the state, get out and vote then. Don't wait until October the 6th, which is a great day, and we're hoping that whoever we vote for wins. November, I'm sorry, November. November the 6th is when see, she's better than she thought she was.
You gotta stay on it, man.
November the 6th, we're going to go out and vote. We're going to vote our voice, right?
Yep. Vote your voice.
All right.
Got to.
Have a Dolce day and be blessed.